Welcome to Joyfully Married After podcast with Heath and Tracy. That was Heath's part, y'all.
The Queen Tracy takeover is in effect.
Oh,
What's going on? What's
gosh.
going on? What's going on? What's happening there? What's happening there, Ms.
You know I like
Tracy?
you to start it, baby.
Yeah, we're getting it started right here. You know, this is the Joyfully Married After podcast with Heath and Tracy. Well, we are here every Monday night at 8 p.m. EST. Yes. And what are we here doing? Are we demystifying your relationship?
No, we're not demystifying no relationships.
Tracy and I are relationship strategists specializing in premarital preparedness and intramarital improvement. How about that?
Woohoo.
31 years of marriage. We know a little something about it. Certified marriage counselors. We know a little something about it.
But we talk about relationships here too, because I think when you talk about marriage, that's just one part of it.
One part.
I think it's very important to talk about how you get into a marriage, what it's like to be in a marriage, the relationships that you're in with your parents, with your children, with your loved ones, with your significant other. If you think you're moving to a marriage, so we talk about all of that.
That part. If you're new to your relationship or you just need some direction in building legacy,
listen in.
this is where you want to
y'all.
be. This is where you want to be because this is what we're doing.
And today we are discussing what?
Making marriage work your way. Your way.
How
Because
you want to be in the
man,
marriage.
Queen Tracy's way might not be exactly
Your way.
Your way. So we're going to talk about some other ways that you can be married outside of the traditional way.
Okay. I like it.
How about that?
And if it's your first time here,
My name is Heath.
and I'm Tracy.
Queen Tracy and I are married for over 30 years, 31 years to be exact. Yes. We are certified marriage counselors. We are HBCU grads, and we are parents of 4. We are founders of the Marriage Money Mindset community. You can go to heathandtracy.com to check that out if you want to join that.
You can also find the Joyfully Married After podcast at heathandtracy.com. Or you can listen to it anywhere you listen to your podcast.
On your favorite audio platform.
Yes. And you can hit the subscribe button or just catch us here every week.
Hey, if you're new here, definitely let us know that you are here, that you are new, because we want you to type new you down in the comments so we can chop it up with you after the show. Yes. Are we going to do some intro music this evening, baby?
You know it. What do you say, baby?
Welcome to Joyfully Married After with Heath and Tracy. Welcome back to Joyfully Married After, the live audio podcast visual experience. We got the whole thing happening. How about that?
We trying, y'all. We trying. This time change, boy, I'm telling you though.
Got you caught out there, baby?
It's got me caught out here.
Woo.
It's rough. It's really rough on the system right now.
It's days are numbered. Daylight savings times days are numbered. Mark my words. The Heath man told you.
Let's touch and agree.
It's
You know how you do in church when y'all in church, y'all?
when the
We
two
gonna
should touch and agree.
touch and agree in the name of Jesus.
It is done.
Because it's wearing me out.
Oh, in the time change, y'all. In the time change. How
It's
about that?
wearing me out. Any good stories for us this week, Heath?
Good story. Let me think. Do we have a good story? I don't know.
I don't have any really good stories this week, y'all. I'm just trying to get through this time change. My bed is like, it's
calling?
just really, really calling, man.
My
It's just
bed
really
is
calling for me. You know? But what are we talking about this evening? And we're going to answer your questions. So definitely put your questions in the comment.
Okay,
We're
okay.
going to get into the questions. You all are just going to watch us and listen while we record our podcast. And in our podcast, we're going to be talking about what?
7 ways to be married.
And then after we record the podcast, then we're going to jump into your questions and have discussions around that.
You know, I would love to know where everybody is watching from.
Yeah, put that down there. I do wonder that sometimes. We get our little analytics and everything, but it's nice to know those that are watching us right now. Where are you watching from? Put that down in the comments. Would like to see that too. Okay,
Where you from? Where you at?
let's go ahead and jump into the recording so we can get to the questions.
Are we recording now?
Yep, you ready?
Are you ready? 7.
Sorry, Jacob. Okay,
We rested.
we rested. You ready?
7 ways to be married. This is the Joyfully Married After podcast, episode 75.
No, that's
wrong?
not right.
What's wrong?
7 ways to be married your way.
Okay, cool. Let's
Okay,
do it
you ready?
again. 7 ways to be married your way. This is the Joyfully Married After podcast, episode 75.
Okay, very good.
You think this is 75?
Yeah, I think it is. Bear with us, y'all. So when we talk about marriages, welcome to the show. When we talk about marriages, a lot of people have a tendency to think that there's only one way to be married. Maybe the way they saw their grandparents married or their aunts or their uncles or even their parents, right? But the secret to a great marriage is deciding what you want your marriage to be about.
I love that. I love this conversation because, you know, people have their paradigms of marriage, you know, much to your point, baby. And I think that when we went into our marriage, I had my paradigm of what I thought was supposed to be, you know, women's, men's roles, like all the traditional
gender roles,
stuff,
as people like to call it.
Gender roles, all the things that you've seen in your marriage or around you, right? Like sort of in your ecosystem, so to speak. And it's like, how did mom and them do it? What did uncle and them, how did they move? How did they flow? What was their relationship like? Were they always fighting? Were they always cool?
Oh, Lord.
It's just like, you know, everybody has like these different marital experiences and what they were exposed to. And I think that everybody goes into marriage with a certain paradigm, certain baggage, and certain thoughts about how they want their relationship, their marriage to be.
Right. A lot of people, of course, come from this place of, I want to be in love. I want him to sweep me off my feet. I want her to look like a goddess.
The fairy tale.
And treat me like a king.
Yeah.
You know, everybody wants that kind of paradigm. And the real fact of it is everybody is so different and people want so many different things. You've got to divorce yourself from that thought process. You've got to really push into what you want and how you want to live in your marriage.
Did you just say marriage and divorce in the same
I
sentence?
sure did. But it was used in a different term. So
I saw what you did.
the key though is to make sure that whomever you're marrying, you both want the same thing.
So important.
That is the thing, because once you get married, y'all, do y'all know that's a legal binding contract?
That's the piece that people miss, right? So do you think, oh, you know, I don't need a piece of paper?
Yes, you do.
Or I got this piece of paper, and so it's not a big deal. It's like you tripping, so let's split up.
No.
It's a little more to it, y'all.
It's a little bit more to it. And so you've got to get on the same page with your spouse, you know, to make the marriage a success. If it's about what the two of you want, and listen, y'all, the two of you, nobody else.
So important.
Literally nobody else. Just you two. It doesn't matter what other people think or want. It's just about you two. So we're going to talk really quickly about, we came up with like seven different ones.
7 types of marriage.
So what's the first one?
A starter marriage.
What is a starter marriage?
And like we're just gonna try it out. It's like a try and buy.
No kids though. We're just gonna try it. We're gonna try it for 6 months.
We're gonna live together. We're gonna try this marriage thing. We're gonna see how we like it, right? And then when the 6 months is up, we're gonna decide if we want to split up or we want to stay married.
But they do have a legal binding contract during that time.
Because they're married.
Because they're married. So they have a legal binding contract during that time. And then they make a decision before the time is up if they're going to split up or if they're going to go ahead and do the marriage thing or just move into what they think should be different about their marriage.
That's almost like the show we used to watch.
Married at First Sight.
Married at First Sight.
Yeah, it's exactly what it's like. And it works sometimes. So a lot of those couples on there are still married today and got kids and everything.
Yep.
It used to be like that too. I think I read an article that the concept of love did not come into marriage until the 1800s, y'all.
Yep.
Before that, people got married for societal reasons because it was like a business arrangement. Yep. Of course, women didn't have the rights that we have today, so that was a way for a woman to raise her visibility in society, her assets in society.
Yeah, double clicking into that. At the end of the day, if two people are coming together and they are about marriage,
right?
They want to be married, regardless of how well they know each other or whatever. When you have that common ground and you are both committed to working towards that, those things can work. And we've seen that on some of these reality shows, and that's essentially what we're talking about here with the starter marriage.
Yeah, y'all want to talk about Will and Jada all the time. Will and Jada still married. Talk about it all you want. As a married person, I get it.
Yeah.
it doesn't sweat me like people. Oh, we need to stop talking about Will and Jada. First of all, they just shocking y'all with all their little details. The details haven't changed in the 20-something years they've been married. Just keep it real.
Right.
Let's just keep it real. All the stuff you all are hearing is not new to them. That's why they're sharing it.
25 plus years of marriage.
They done figured it out. Trust and believe.
They know something.
They know. So people that are married and has been married as long as they have, we're like, they doing what works for them. That's all it is.
Factoid, Heath and Tracy have been married longer than Will and Jada.
Yes. And Heath isn't crying in front of Oprah.
The second kind of marriage, companionship marriage.
This is another marriage that's not about children. Okay.
Nope,
it's couples married for, check this out, y'all, friendship.
Like, we friends, we vibe, we get along, we know each other, we know each other intimately, deeply. Like, we just always on the same page.
And it's not about passion or romance. I'm going to stand here and say, I do know a couple like that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think I may know what you're talking about. But the point is that this kind of marriage can work.
It works. And they've been married, 30 years?
Yeah.
Something like that.
It can work.
They don't tell us.
Right.
They don't tell us that that's what it is.
No.
We just kind of know.
Yeah.
We just kind of know they just really good friends.
Yeah.
And it works. It works for them.
It works for them.
They have beautiful children.
Yep.
I'm not going to say that.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. They have beautiful children. They have a wonderful life.
The point is
beautiful home.
They've been married multiple decades and they get along great and their marriage is cool and that's what it is.
It is what it is. So there's nothing wrong with that. That's what we're trying to get you to understand here. We're proponents of marriage.
Right.
We're not judging what kind of marriage you have.
Yeah.
But we think as Black people in this world, in this country, especially now, we need to be married. All right.
I just want to say one more thing about that is at the end of the day, you have the ability to make your life in whatever way that you want it to be.
Right.
So if you find a companion and that's your thing and it works for you, then when you lose the need to judge and to be judged, it will free you up so much in everything you do in your life.
What's the third kind of marriage, babe?
Parenting marriage.
This is a model of marriage. It's all about the children. It's a romantic connection that doesn't need to be a part of the package.
It's just about the children.
It's just about two people coming together to raise children, providing a great home for them, right? They promise to stay together only until the children become independent.
They're like, we're committed to this thing.
That's right.
We in this thing because we want these kids to be well developed. We want them to be happy. We want them to have phenomenal experiences. We want to protect them. We want to love them. We want to nurture them. We want to encourage them to be all that they can be. So that is what we are doing. Parenting marriage.
And then afterwards, let it go. Now, I will say this. I've seen marriages do this and evolve into splitting up after the kids are gone. It does more damage than you think it does.
So now to that point that if you go into your marriage with the understanding that it is a parenting marriage.
And the kids understand that. And it's not a farce.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you haven't really divulged the fact, if you haven't really come together and decided that that's what you want. So the point that you're making is that some people get married, then they have children, and then their lives become all about the children.
Yeah.
Where they never acknowledged one another that this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
They came into it maybe as a traditional marriage.
And then it ended up being that. It ended up being that.
We're going to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it ended up being that, but they didn't know that that's what it was.
Exactly.
And so now all of a sudden they're in this marriage and they're like, yo, the kids are gone and like, I don't really know you.
And don't want to know you.
I don't really dig you.
Right.
So let's break this up.
And then the 30-year-old kids freak out. So it's just, what's going on? My life was a whole lie. That whole thing happens. And you don't want that to happen either. So if you do have that kind of marriage, make sure that it's understood to the people that need to know that.
You got to be clear about it.
What's a safety marriage, baby? That's number 4. Some people call it a gold digger marriage.
Look, some people are like, hey, this is a serious financial arrangement right here. This is so that I have safety, right? Some people like, hey, I'm in it for the insurance.
We know somebody like that too. We know somebody that got married for health insurance.
I'm in it for the financial security.
So it works.
Hey, I need to go to school.
They've been married 30 years too. I'm telling y'all, these are real marriages out here.
I need my education paid for.
And you get a discount or whatever.
Hey, whatever the reason is, this is why I'm married. All right, so don't be judging me.
I'm not a gold digger.
I'm not way over town.
Right. It's just about having that arrangement of companionship and agree to outset of funds or help or whatever. And it works for some people.
Yeah, what was the name? Anna Nicole Smith, and she had like the really older person.
He wanted to take care of her. He wanted to take care of somebody, and she needs
cool,
somebody, and
he was cool.
Exactly.
They were like, "This is what it is."
That's
and
what it
people were
is.
Like, this can't be.
Well, leave it alone.
Y'all
It's not
in love.
but it's not about that. It's not about that. All
It wasn't
the time.
about that for them.
No, it wasn't.
But people couldn't digest what it is they were seeing,
Right.
and what they were experiencing. But those two people were cool.
Yes, they were. What's the next one, babe?
Living alone together.
Now this one's weird to me,
Living
but
alone
hey, they
together marriage.
exist. They exist. So this marriage is for people who say they need their space,
Yeah.
and they mean it literally. Each spouse has a place of their own. I know people that have two different houses.
Yep.
They're committed to the relationship though, and they want that autonomy. They want to have their own home, their own bedroom, their own apartment, whatever it is, and they stay married like that.
I don't need you all up under me.
No,
No. Stay over there. That's fine.
I'll be over tonight.
Yeah.
You cooking? I'm cooking.
All right, cool.
That works.
I'll see you then.
Or it could be something simple like I'm allergic to the dog,
Can't live over there.
and your dog is like your
That's your dog. That's your
that's
baby.
your dog. That's your baby.
I get it.
And I'm sorry, but the dog can't live in my house. But I love you. You know.
But I'm
so
gonna be over here.
it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. So they exist just to say they exist.
And they're committed.
Number 6.
The open marriage.
Ooh, child.
People have heard about this one.
They've heard a lot about this one.
People know about this one.
They know about this one.
The open marriage. Spouses have other partners, but they are not sneaking around. They are practicing consensual non-monogamy.
But they want a stable marriage. They just don't want a monogamous
They
one.
want it. They need it. They're looking for it.
And the consensual part is that they've agreed to have different
You
partners.
got to be on the same accord.
Yeah.
So they obviously have some kind of framework that they've built around it. They've had the discussion. They're both on the same page. Neither of them are tripping. And long as you play within the rules, we both good.
Yeah, and it's a marriage. It's still a marriage.
Like, this is my
Keep that in
person.
mind. And that's what works for them. And they've been married for years, and it works for them. Nobody's cheating because it is consensual.
Quote, air quotes, nobody's cheating.
Well, they're not cheating,
That's what I said. Air
Right.
quotes, cheating.
but it's not an air quotes.
Right.
Okay. And the last one is probably what you're most familiar with in most traditional covenant, they call it
A
marriage.
covenant marriage.
Yeah, it's not a relaxed form of marriage.
Everything is traditional.
Yeah.
But there's one caveat that's unique to a covenant marriage, right? In that if you, for some reason, want to get divorced and you have a covenant marriage,
You got to wait.
you got a 2-year waiting period.
And there's it's Louisiana, Arizona,
In Arkansas.
Arkansas.
So if you get
I
married
thought
in
it was
those-
Maryland, but I guess maybe they got rid of it.
If you get married in those states and you have a covenant marriage,
You got to wait 2
and
years.
for some reason you want to split up, it's like, no, you got a cooling off period.
You got a cooling off period of 2 years before you can actually get divorced.
2 years, holler back.
Right. And that's a covenant marriage. And you have to have premarital counseling to get into those too. So just like they're hard to get into, they're hard to get out of too.
Yeah.
Right.
That's real talk.
So those are the 7 marriages that you can have. The key is to have one. And you and your partner are the only ones that have to agree to the situation.
Yeah.
So you got your little starter marriage. Let's try this out. A lot of people do this too when they move in with each other. I guess
the
they call
start.
that a starter marriage.
The pre-starter
You
kit.
got the companionship marriage. It's like, I don't really love you. I'm not feeling you like that. But hey, I want to be with you forever. Let's just do this thing. We're great friends. Let's just do this. We love each other
Yeah.
and we're great friends.
Yeah.
But, we ain't got to be getting down all the time.
Right.
Parenting marriage. Hey, for the kids, we're going to do this thing. We want to have a healthy, whole home. And after it's all said and done, you're going to go your way and I'm going to go my way. You have a safety marriage. I need help financially. You have financial means. So therefore, let's do this.
For the love of money.
Living alone together. I love you. I want to be with you, but I just don't want to be in the same space as you.
Keep it
Open marriage. I love you. I want a stable marriage, but I also want to dig on other people all the time.
Every now and then.
You think it's every now and then?
As
I
long
think
as
it's
we
all.
together.
Okay. Covenant marriage. This is traditional marriage. The key is to be marriage and to be whole. That's the key, y'all. Whose type of marriage is it?
Yeah.
and that it's just the two of you.
And in my view, we're not necessarily advocating any of these. But
No.
what we are simply saying is that people are people.
Yes.
People are adults.
Yes.
And you have to understand that regardless of how you formulate your relationship, if it's traditional like the relationship that Queen Trace and I have, if it's one of these other styles of marriage, it is completely up to you. And what I'm saying is that we're not saying that any of these things will necessarily work for living happily ever after. What we're saying is that there are other ways that you can think about your marriage and how you are in a relationship with someone else. And if that works for you two, and you build the proper frameworks and thought processes and have those open lines of communication, you can make adjustments to however you want to be together.
Right.
So there you go.
All right. Okay. Thanks for listening, guys. We're going to jump into these questions. What y'all think about that? Which marriage is the weirdest one? That's what I want to know. Put in the comments which marriage you think is the weirdest one. We got any questions over here? Okay. Reality said we're the experts. Okay. Love you, girl. Expert. You are correct. I think they said it takes 10 years to master something.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. She said, "What? Now that's interesting. Non-traditional marriages. There are a lot of them. We just thought there's a lot of them."
Yes.
Fatih says, "Yay!
Fatih.
I love when you guys talk about healthy marriage." Oh, I'm so glad you got to listen live.
Hey,
Thank
Fatih.
you. Thank you.
Oh, Fatih.
Reality Doll says, "Can you talk about red flags? How long should you date before you marry or get the ring?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The time change is making me struggle."
Yes, you got a couple of things right there. I feel you, Reality Doll. The time change is crazy. As it relates to how long you should wait, I think that's another thing that's unique to you and the person that you're dating.
Right.
I think that for Trace and I as an example, we knew very early on in our relationship, within months, that we were ready to get married.
Was it months or was it weeks?
Well, it was a couple 3 months before couple 3 months when we knew.
So
When we knew.
Okay, I can see that.
So the point I'm making is that traditionally, if you fast forward in today's world, right, Reality Doll obviously is an adult person.
Yeah.
She's going to be dating adult people, and so adult people are doing different things. They have careers, and maybe they may have children with other people. Maybe they have other things to consider, property and such, right? And so, sometimes in this day and time, it takes people a little bit longer to get more serious about marriage.
Yeah, it does.
And so I think that certainly, once you've been dating like the same person exclusively for 2, 3, 4 years, I think it's time to begin to have that conversation, right? Because in my view, if you're not having that conversation, then really you're doing a disservice to yourself. If you want to be married and you are with someone who you think is a good candidate for that, but they are not moving towards marriage, then you have to release them, and so they can go and be a blessing to someone else, and you can move on and have yourself open to the right person for you. And
it doesn't take years.
If you go on in that relationship year after year after year, then essentially you've taken yourself off the market.
Yep.
And you don't have you're not open to other relationships that could be more of a blessing for you than the one you're in.
Exactly. The thing about that, guys, is that it doesn't take that long to figure out if you want to be with someone.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people mistake the time frame that people have been together with whether it's valid or not, and that's just not the case. Pretty quickly if you're going to be with a person long term or not. I think if you wait too long, if you get to a point with a person and you're sleeping at their house all the time, they're at your house, and you have this routine, I wouldn't do that more than a few months. If I'm doing that more than 3, 4 months and they're not talking about marriage or taking the next step or something like that, I would check out, because it's a time thing, and they can talk about it however they want, but people know especially men, ladies, listen up. Men know pretty quickly if they want you or not. Men know pretty quickly if they want you or not.
It's true.
It's very true.
Yeah.
Don't ever let them tell you they don't know yet. They ain't figured it out. They not sure. They're lying.
Yeah.
Men know right off the bat. There are so many men, they're easy. They know right away if they want you or not. If you're waiting and waiting and waiting, it's time to walk.
Right.
It's time to walk. You're wasting your time on him, and you're not doing anything but making him ready for the next one. That's why so many people break up and they look up and he's married because he's ready then. He's ready then. Don't make him better for somebody else. Don't make him better for somebody else. She had another question too.
Ooh.
What you talking about? Ooh.
I'm just saying, you dropping the gems for the
Yeah.
people.
Okay. If it would, she has another question. It would really be great to do something like dating or finding the one. So, there's so many people sharing representatives and not true self. Yeah, I think it's important to, and this goes to your red flag question. We really have got to begin to listen to what I call our Christ mind, our inner man, our inner self, our inner person.
Yep.
And feel how you are feeling about someone when you talk to them. Don't ignore the emotions that you're feeling or what your spirit man is telling you about this person. And then when you're feeling, you need to tap into it and understand what it is telling you. Don't try to cover it up or make excuses about why you feel that way. If you feel a certain way about a dude and you're getting creepy crawlies.
Creepy crawlies?
I know. That's what I call it.
Okay.
If he says something and it's not quite, you're like, that wasn't quite. And I'm not saying look for perfection, guys. You understand what I'm saying? I'm saying when you know that he's not ready.
When you know when you're knower.
He's not ready for a relationship, or he's off-putting, or he's taking his time, or he's not giving you a straight answer, or he's straight up lying to you.
Yep.
Don't waste your time.
Yeah.
Keep it moving. The thing about finding the one is a numbers game. I'm going to go ahead and say it. You got to kiss a lot of frogs.
I think the other thing I wanted to tap into there, baby, was that, a lot of times it has to do with timing as well, right? So just like Tracy's making the point, it's like you spend all this time with this person and it doesn't seem to go the way that you wanted to go, and then you go your separate ways, and next thing you know, somebody's walking down the aisle that you just broke up with is because of a timing. It was a timing thing, right? And so to Tracy's point, it shouldn't be year after year after year after year. It's just sort of like, boom, is this the right time, the right person? Are we feeling the right way? Are we in the right place, in the same space mentally? All of these things, right? And so if it's not your person, if it's not that time, then you would do yourself well to move on.
Yeah. Timing is somewhat of an issue, but I'm going to say this again. If a man wants you, and he wants to be married to you,
then it's the right time.
It's the right time.
It's a timing thing.
It's the timing thing. Heath and I were in college.
I just said that. It's a timing
thing.
What
do you mean?
I'm just saying you approved my point. I was saying there was time. It's a timing thing.
Right. But what I'm saying is it's no such thing as it. It's time. You're saying it's a timing thing. In his head, see how differently we think. He's saying it's a timing thing. It's like a magical timing thing. And I'm saying there's no such thing. He's going to get with you or he's not. Don't let him tell you, oh, let me get this promotion. Don't let him tell you, oh, well, let me move to this city. Don't let him tell you, well, let me graduate from college. All of that is a force field. It's a block.
Yeah.
It's a block. When you start getting those blocking signals, check out. Keep it moving. Next. What's that? Thank you.
Yeah.
Next. That is the key.
Yeah.
Y'all see these starlets, these celebrities. Every time you look up, they another dude. Keep it moving. That's how you find your significant other.
Yeah. And the other thing, the thing connected to that is that FOMO. That FOMO can kick in for people. It's like, you leave that person and you move on to another relationship. They're like, oh man, I missed out on that one. I need to, baby, can you come back? Sorry.
No. When I broke up with somebody or somebody broke up with me, I never, ever went back.
Yeah.
Because I was like, one, that's a waste of my time.
Yeah.
It's a waste of my time going back because I already did that. And look where it got me. Yeah. It got me breaking up with them. So why would I go and repeat that?
Right.
Because it's going to happen again.
Yep.
It's going to happen again. So what you have to remember that people are in your life for a season and a reason to teach you a lesson. And once that lesson is over, move on. And it's something you have to work out with yourself. You have to be in such a confident space to say, I can do this. I'm going to be okay. And I'm not saying just date people perpetually, but you have to stay open. That is the key to finding your significant other, is staying open. If you aren't open to find that person, you won't find that person. And you're not open if you're locked in on one person. And if you find somebody that's not locked in on you, you're wasting your time.
I ran across this on social media today. It says,
What does it say, baby?
It says, we don't fear new opportunities, new love, or new vulnerability. We fear old pain.
Oh.
Like that one?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
How about this one? If you continue to wait until you're ready, you'll be waiting for the
You're
rest
gonna
of your
be waiting.
life.
Let me tell you something. We weren't ready when we decided to get married. We were not ready. I remember standing at the altar, my life flashing before my eyes, and I had a baby. And I was still not quite sure. You're just never going to be sure. What you're going to be sure about is that this is the person. And you don't get sure in your marriage for years.
Yep.
For years, you don't get sure in your marriage. I remember one of my best friends, she'd tell me all the time, she said, girl, I'm just getting him ready for his next wife. They're still married today, but it used to be just funny to me. They got married because it was like, okay, let's get married. We love each other. Let's get married. And I think people are all a little too afraid of it too. It's not this mystery thing. Marriage is what you make it.
Yep.
It's literally what you, just like you say, okay, I'm going to go bake a cake. Marriage is the same thing. Okay, what kind of cake am I going to bake? And people think marriage is this thing. I don't know what, I don't understand it. But it's not. It's literally what you make it.
There you go.
So what does Fatih say here?
What's up, Fatih?
She says, I say no kind of spouse benefits before marriage.
Okay.
That's very good.
Okay.
If you are marriage minded, you'll save a lot of time by not playing spouse before you really are.
Yeah.
We have a video on that, don't we?
I think we do have a video on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, Fatih, at the end of the day, you make very valid points, right? And everybody is different in terms of how you approach that. But I think that is very admirable not to engage in those kinds of activities prior to marriage. If that's your thing, I think that's completely fine. And I think even drilling down deeper into that, the point is that you know very quickly if someone is serious about you or not, right? Is it about the physical, or is it about really getting to know me and determining if I am compatible to you,
right?
If we have a future. So you can determine those things very quickly without necessarily getting physical. So shout out to you, Fatih.
Or you can be physical. I don't. Or
you
think
can be physical.
You can be.
And still figure it out.
We can go ahead. Heath and I were together.
Were we physical very very early, baby?
We were physical very early.
We were physical very early. Yes.
We were physical very early.
Yep.
It does not matter. I think you have to be serious and have a certain level of passion for one another right off the bat, and have an understanding of what you're seeking in the relationship.
Yeah.
It can't be one-sided. It can't be this is just for me. If you feel any of that, exit quickly.
Yeah.
Right? Exit quickly.
And we're talking about the kind of traditional way of falling in love and getting married and that kind of thing. But some of these other relationships, some of these other marriage styles that we talked about this evening, Fatih might run across some billionaire who might be like, yo, Fatih, I'm down with you.
And
I'll pay
she
you
would
to do
figure it
this.
out.
I'll pay for you to
right. And I'm just saying, you're going to figure it out. Just
right.
What we're saying is that saying I'm going to fall in love, find the perfect man, find the perfect woman. We're going to do these steps, and then we're going to get married, and then it's going to be perfect with the next steps. That just doesn't happen like that. You know, I know someone that has literally planned every point in her life from when she would start school to when she would enter school to when she would get married to when she would have a baby. And life happens. Things don't always happen like you expect them to happen. And they're still married, and it's fine. But you have to understand that that's not the important part. That's not the important part. And then she also says, Tracy, I agree. We need to connect to that spirit and let it guide. We have the answers, and then we ignore it. You are so right. You can't ignore it.
Yeah, we used to ignore it. We used to go to this church, and the minister used to tell the story about, imagine if the antelope were out in the wild, and they get that sense that something ain't right, and they get just, oh, it's nothing.
They would be eaten.
So the moral of the story is pay attention to those senses, those gifts that you have inside of you. Absolutely.
Definitely. I just think it's important for us as a whole to be connected to our spiritual selves,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
to have an open and loving attitude toward finding a partner,
Right.
toward finding that person that we feel we can continue life with and go forward in life with and share life with.
Yes.
You know, I love to wake up in the morning and just say, hey, what's up, dude?
Hey, baby,
You
how
know?
you doing?
And it's just that simple. It's
Mm-hmm.
that simple. It's not all the other things. It's not what he can do for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what he can give me. It's none of that. It's that moment in the morning that I wake up and I see my partner next to me, knowing that we're going to continue today in life together.
It's so scary.
That's not scary.
It's
I don't
scary
like that
good.
button.
It's scary good.
Y'all, that was not the right button. I almost want Jacob, delete that.
Oh, you messing with my buttons.
My
little button situation. Over
Nah, we ain't messing with the button. All right, y'all. We love you. Thank you for joining us this evening. And be here next week at 8 o'clock to listen to more Joyfully Married After. Hope you have a great evening, and we see you next week.